While on vacation in northern Australia, Grace, her husband Adam, and her younger sister Lee decide to enjoy a few local attractions. One afternoon, they visit a crocodile show where they watch massive reptiles being fed up close. The sight leaves them both amazed and uneasy, especially Grace, who finds herself thinking about how dangerous the creatures can be. The next morning, Grace quietly takes a pregnancy test in their hotel bathroom and discovers that she's pregnant, though she chooses not to tell Adam yet, unsure of how he'll react. Wanting to make the most of their trip, the trio decide to join a local fishing tour called Blackwater Berries. It's meant to be a calm, fun way to spend the day on the water, surrounded by mangroves and nature. Once they arrive at the docks, their tour guide Barry is not available. Jim, another guide, offers to take them instead. Jim arms himself with a revolver, his insurance policy in case something goes wrong. They set off in a small motorboat into the remote mangrove swamp, far from easy rescue. After failing to catch any fish using the usual route, Jim suggests going deeper into the swamps, into territory less traveled. While in a small clearing, Lee spots something through her camera and alerts Grace. But when they look again, they find nothing. A false alarm that raises tension. Suddenly, the boat capsizes, dumping the occupants into the water. The moment is abrupt, the threat unseen until it hits. Jim is killed underwater by the hidden crocodile, and Adam realizes that they are under attack by a ferocious saltwater crocodile. He helps Grace into a nearby tree for safety while he searches the murky water for Lee, who got tangled up in ropes underneath the overturned boat. Grace sees the beast nearby, its presence ominous, and she convinces Adam to return to safety with her, rather than going further out into the swamp. Lee frees herself from the ropes and surfaces, but the beast swims after her. She manages to climb atop the overturned boat, but the crocodile thrashes the boat in an attempt to throw her off. Adam and Grace distract it, giving Lee a moment of relief, and eventually it swims away. Realizing that they might use the boat's ropes to pull Lee to safety, they attempt to execute this plan. But the boat is stuck on a submerged log or root system, delaying the effort and raising the stakes. A hesitant Lee is forced to swim across the water, despite clearly panicking halfway. She manages to make it to the overturned boat hull and climbs on. Meanwhile, Grace and Adam stay up in the trees. The women suggest that perhaps it's best to wait for help, but Adam argues that nobody saw them leave or will know where they are. So Grace tries a different idea. She begins climbing back through the mangrove trees in hopes of reaching the mainland. However, as she moves along the branches, she discovers pieces of a corpse floating nearby, the remains of their guide, Jim. Terrified and shaken, she abandons the idea and returns. Meanwhile, Adam grows impatient while waiting in the tree and makes his own attempt to reach the boat and push their escape plan forward. He successfully flips the boat upright, but tragically the beast strikes and kills him before he can help Grace and Lee. The two women try various methods to drag the boat back in reach, to use it for their escape, but all of Adam's plans fail. At one point, the boat drifts away, floating out of safe reach, leaving them stranded. Overnight, the crocodile begins feeding on Adam's body, the grislier detail showing the real danger they face. The next day, they decide to go after the boat again. They move through the swamp toward the spot, but the beast appears and attacks, forcing them back to their original tree refuge. During this attack, Grace suffers a nasty bite to her thigh, and the heavy bleeding worsens her condition as time passes. A passing boat appears on the water. Grace and Lee shout for help, but the motor's noise drowns their cries and the boat goes on. Lee tries again to reach the drifting boat. She's successful, but the beast suddenly leaps into the boat as she arrives, and Lee goes unconscious and drifts to a very small island alongside Jim's body. On that small piece of land, Lee gathers herself, patches up her wounds, and takes Jim's revolver. She cleans it carefully, since it's jammed with mud and wouldn't fire. She then devises a plan. Using Jim's detached arm, taken from the guide's body as bait, she holds the pistol ready. The crocodile attacks, her gun jams initially, she flees with the beast close behind. Stopping again, Lee manages to get the gun working and fires, killing the crocodile in a dramatic finish. With the threat averted, she returns to Grace but finds that her sister's injuries were too severe. Grace has died from her wounds. Devastated, Lee mourns Grace, places her body in the boat, and paddles out of the mangrove swamp alone.